Hey everybody, and thanks for joining me today. I'm Marley. I'm with the site Namely Marley, and I am here to talk to you about another plant-based recipe that I absolutely love. So I'm always looking for that thing I can take to a gathering, whether it's a family dinner or it's my girlfriends getting together for book club or whatever, that is just going to stun them and make them think, wow, is that vegan? That's what they're going to think. Is that plant-based? No, that's impossible. This is what this recipe is today. It is a plant-based recipe. It's couscous salad. I love to even just say it. For some reason, couscous just comes off my tongue feeling really nicely. So it's a simple recipe that you can make in a matter of minutes, and everybody loves it. I absolutely adore this salad. I love having it around because it's got lots of fresh ingredients. So let's get started. We're going to start with, you're going to need 1 cup of couscous, and you can see I'm using the small one, not the pearl, and that means it's going to cook very quickly. So I've got about 1 cup here, and I've got 1 cup of water. And you can see it's nice and hot. I'm just going to pour that right in with that couscous. And I'm going to give it a stir. And believe it or not, just pouring that hot water in and letting that sit is going to cause that couscous to soften up and be delicious. So we're going to set that aside and I'm going to show you some of the other ingredients. There's kind of 2 levels of ingredients. Oh, and just one more thing. I want you to stick around because at the end I'm going to show you my very favorite topping to serve with couscous salad. But first, let's talk about how we make it. You're going to want a fresh lemon. You really, really need to get by with it, have a fresh lemon. I have sometimes used recipes and I try to get by with bottled lemon. I'm in the Midwest and in Missouri, in the winter, it's not always easy to find fresh lemon, but this is a salad. You definitely want to use fresh lemon. We're going to zest it. I have this nice little microplane that works perfect for zesting. So you're going to zest the skin, just the outer part of the lemon, and then we'll cut it in half and just extract the juice. But I've already done that, so you don't have to watch me doing it. Then the salad itself will have some veggies, and that is cucumbers and tomatoes. If you don't like cucumbers, you could use zucchini. I will tell you, I am not typically a fan of cucumbers, just I love the flavor, but just for personal reasons, it sometimes leaves me with aftertaste. But I have found these little mini cucumbers work perfectly and they don't upset my stomach. So I love the flavor of cucumbers in this salad. So these two together are the ingredients we'll add. There's so many things you can include in this. And in fact, today, just as a little surprise, I'm going to add some chickpeas. That'll add even more protein to this recipe and add some flavor too. And then there's the sauce. So let's go ahead and start talking about the sauce because the sauce is going to include some olive oil. This is the lemon zest, lemon juice, and I chopped up some fresh parsley. Again, you could use dried, but I really think fresh is the way to go with this recipe. And I have a little bit of minced garlic. So speaking of that, the very first thing I like to do is I like to add these onions to the couscous as it's cooking because it'll help soften them up a little bit. If you ever find that you don't like the flavor of raw garlic in your dishes, adding them with ingredients that are slightly hot will help soften that flavor and cook them a little bit too. So I'm just going to go ahead and stir that right in. So you can see the couscous is already starting to cook, and I'm just going to give it a good little stir. Sometimes I will go ahead and add just a little bit of olive oil to this too, just a touch. Make a mess as I'm at it. And I'll just stir that in too. Doesn't that look delicious? I love it. So good. Okay, so let's move on to the rest of we're basically going to be making the sauce next. So it starts with some lemon zest. As I mentioned to you, this is zest from 1 lemon. It's nice and fresh. Adds a lot. You know what? Actually, okay. So the question is, thank you, Krista. Is it Krista? Thank you, Krista. It's a great question. Can you substitute quinoa? Because couscous, believe it or not, is it's a wheat-based product. Yes, you absolutely can do. Quinoa. And in fact, I've been working on a recipe for quinoa salad that is basically the same salad, but using quinoa. Sometimes I find if I rinse the quinoa first, sometimes it can have a little bit of a bitter flavor that you may not notice when you're cooking with it, with other ingredients, but in a salad, it kind of comes out a little bit. So I think rinsing the quinoa first is a great idea. Very good question. I love that. Okay, so to this, the lemon zest, we're going to add lemon juice, just a couple of tablespoons. This equals a total of a quarter cup of olive oil, but I added a little bit to the couscous, so we're just going to add the remaining right in here. And next, we're going to be adding the parsley, and this is roughly 1/3 cup of parsley. I'm going to put that in here. You can also add some mint to this. I just happen to um, not like the flavor of fresh mint in a salad. I do, you can add it to this. It's just delicious. So go ahead and just go for it if that's what you want to do. That's the way I say it. Okay, so now I'm going to add this sauce to the couscous. I want to get all that goodness in there. I'll give that a good stir. If you've got some time, you can definitely let the vegetables, if you'd like, marinate in that sauce a little bit. I'm going to add a little bit of the chickpeas. My tip about chickpeas, if you're using canned chickpeas, be sure to check them because I have found some cans of chickpeas are just so firm. So I like to boil them just for a few minutes in some water so that they're soft. You don't want your chickpeas so firm that they're hard to chew. So a little bit of chickpeas in here. And then we're going to add cucumbers. And these are cherry tomatoes that I've cut into half and then quartered that. So I find cherry tomatoes are the sweetest and they have the less seeds, which I think is the most interesting and delicious. Now, as you can see, my bowl is overflowing, but normally I have a bigger bowl, but not today. So we're just improvising. That's what this is all about. Now, one of my favorite secret ingredients is to add some vegan feta. And today I'm using the Follow Your Heart brand. I like feta. It adds just crumbly bits of flavor throughout. I use about a 1/3 cup in here. And it adds a little bit of salty flavor and a nice texture too. So I find combined with the cucumbers and a little bit of that salty feta, it's delicious. It also adds a little bit of fat along with the olive oil. Can't go wrong with that. Okay, and then we're getting pretty close to done here. You can finish it off with a little bit of salt and pepper. I find the feta adds plenty of salty flavor, but if you wanted to, you could add a little bit of salt to it. And as I promised early on, I was going to share with you my favorite topping for serving the salad, and that is just a little bit of vegan tahini sauce. And what I did is I just combined a little bit of tahini with some plain plant-based yogurt and just drizzle that over the top. It makes for a really pretty presentation, and you can serve this alongside for in case people aren't going to like it, then that's it. This is it. This is basically the bulk of this recipe. I stir this up really good, keep it in the fridge. I say it's best the day of, but it can last a couple of days in the fridge. I can tell you from personal experience because Sean does not like the salad very much, so I get to eat it all, right? Sean's not a cucumber fan. So I enjoy it. Do we have any other questions? No? Okay, well then let's get ready for the taste test. That's my favorite part. So I'm gonna get a bite with chickpea. I need to get a tomato in there. Look at that. Does that not look delicious? Okay, I'm gonna take a bite. Mmm. It is like freshness in your bite. It's just so delicious. I promise you, you take this to a gathering, it's going to be the thing that everybody's gathered around saying, "Who made this? I want some of that. Where's that recipe from?" I love it. I hope you like it too. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm Marley with the site Namely Marley. If you loved today's video, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe for more recipes coming your way every week.